We are diving deep today into something I think it really hits home for a lot of us. It's that constant push-pull, relentless ambition on one side, and then this deep, almost aching desire for some inner peace on the other. If you're out there chasing milestones, maybe closing big deals, or honestly, just getting through a crazy, demanding schedule, you sometimes hit that goal and just feel flat or restless. Well, this deep dive is definitely for you. So our mission today, we want to look past the usual corporate burnout advice. We're actually going back, looking at some ancient wisdom to figure out what they understood about success, about being present, and why that drive that gets us where we want to go so often leaves us feeling, well, completely drained. We're looking for a way where, fulfillment and getting stuff done aren't fighting each other. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? How our modern culture basically installs this default setting that tells us to just override our own internal signals. Rest. That's seen as lazy, inefficient. Slowing down means you're falling behind. We're really taught to treat our bodies like these high-performance machines. Just keep pushing, optimize everything. Doesn't matter if the warning lights are flashing. And what we find is this only works for so long. Eventually, that quiet little whisper inside, that background exhaustion, maybe that constant irritability, it just becomes a scream, a real debilitating scream. So today, we're exploring this idea, what if the body isn't a machine to be forced, but more like an ancient oracle, constantly telling us the truth about whether we're actually aligned or not.
Oh, I think we all recognize that feeling. You wake up and bam, the mind is already sprinting way ahead of your body. You're just running on fumes all day, putting on the smile for the meetings, checking off the list. But inside, there's this quiet alarm bell. Maybe it's like tension in your jaw or that low hum of anxiety, or just feeling incredibly heavy by mid-afternoon. And we try so hard to push past it, right? But maybe that very act of silencing the body is what's really exhausting us.
Precisely. What if that body isn't failing you? What if it's actually trying to talk to you, communicate something vital? The modern idea is often, okay, I need to fix my body so it can keep up. But the ancient view, especially in traditions like Buddhism, sees the body completely differently. It's the fundamental ground. It's where awareness happens. It's the first place we feel it when things are off. Think about dukkha. It's a Pali term, often translated as just suffering, but it's deeper than that. It's more like the subtle friction, the friction of misalignment. It's that quiet clash between how we're living day to day and maybe how we're truly meant to live. And your body feels this first. Little signals we brush off as noise, maybe shallow breathing, not sleeping well, that vague sense of dread, like, that feeling when you open your work email late on a Sunday, even if nothing's urgent. That feeling is the signal.
Wow. That reframes it completely. Dread is data. But okay, let's get practical. If I'm ambitious, I'm under real pressure. How do I know if it's dukkha, that true misalignment, or just a tough day? Like I worked hard, pushed myself, and I genuinely just need some rest and maybe a coffee.
Yeah.
How do we tell necessary fatigue from that deeper friction?
That's such a crucial question. Okay, so necessary fatigue, say, after a really hard workout or a super focused, productive day that usually resolves with rest, right? You recover. Alignment comes back pretty quickly.
Dukkha, that friction, it sticks around. It's the kind of tired that sleep doesn't really fix. It's that deep irritability that flares up over tiny things because your inner reserves are just gone.
Yeah.
It's feeling like you're constantly swimming upstream even when things are technically going well. That persistence, that lingering dread, that's the indicator that your actions might be out of sync with your deeper values or just your actual energy levels. That distinction is huge.
Yeah.
It makes me think of that story about Ananda, Buddha's attendant. He was incredibly devoted, memorized everything, served constantly. But he really struggled to reach his own enlightenment.
Exactly. It's such a powerful, counterintuitive lesson. Ananda wasn't lacking wisdom or dedication, not at all. The issue was he forgot the most basic thing, tending to his own inner well-being. He was giving and giving from a place that was completely empty. It was only when he was basically forced to stop, to listen to his exhaustion, to really honor his need for rest, that's when his own breakthrough happened. It just highlights this truth. Real effectiveness, true service, it flows from wholeness, not from constantly running on empty.
Which loops right back to that paradox of ambition we started with. We chase success so hard, intensity, speed, long hours, yet the closer we get to the goal, the promotion, the launch, whatever it is, the more possible it is to feel hollow. So if the body's the oracle, maybe success isn't just about output.
We definitely need a new way to measure it. And the wisdom traditions suggest something pretty revolutionary, especially now. The most powerful, maybe even the most strategic thing you can do in this hyper-distracted world. It's cultivating presence. And this isn't some luxury indulgence, it's deep intelligence gathering.
Yeah.
Try this, like right now, wherever you are. Just feel your feet. Notice the actual sensation on the ground. Maybe notice your shoulders. Are they tense? How is your breath? Does it change when you glance at your phone? That immediate awareness, that raw data from your internal state,
Right.
that is intelligence, unfiltered.
And suddenly these ancient ideas start sounding a lot like modern neuroscience, don't they?
They really do. This practice of mindfulness, or sati, which just means awareness, it's not about emptying your mind. It's about coming back to the body as your source of truth. And modern psychology absolutely backs this up. They call it interoception, basically, your skill at sensing your internal state, your body's feedback loop. And guess what? It's directly linked to better emotional regulation, smarter decision-making, way more resilience, listening to your gut. It's not woo-woo, it's a genuine advantage.
So we're contrasting our usual metrics, KPIs, quarterly targets, revenue, with maybe like the questions a monk in the Himalayas might ask themselves. Not how much did I get done, but was my heart open today? Was my breath steady? Were my actions coming from a place of compassion? Focusing on that internal coherence rather than just external validation, it feels radical.
It is radical, and it changes the entire quality of your life and work. When we keep ignoring that inner coherence, the body starts sending louder signals. We could call them wisdom signals of burnout, that chronically dry throat. Maybe it's signaling a deep thirst, not just for water, but for presence, for real rest. That bone-deep fatigue, it's whispering that you've been pouring from an empty cup for way too long. And that flash of irritability that seems to come out of nowhere, that's often a boundary screaming to be put in place before you snap. These aren't failures. They're wisdom, demanding attention.
Which shifts the focus beautifully from just what we're doing to how we're doing it. I love that image you mentioned earlier, the Zen monk sweeping the temple courtyard in Kyoto. He's not just sweeping to get the job done, to tick it off the list. He's sweeping to be present. It's like meditation in motion, zazen in motion.
Yeah.
The action and the awareness are one thing.
Exactly. And the quality of your attention, that's a sacred resource, truly. Scatter it everywhere, multitasking, chasing notifications, constant distraction, and you don't just lose focus, you start to lose yourself. The aim here is what some traditions call right action. Doing work where the way you do it serves both your ambition and your integrity. You're engaged, you're effective, but you're not lost in the frenzy.
Okay, and this feels like it leads directly to maybe the biggest energy drain for driven people, clinging. This idea that burnout often isn't just about the long hours, it's about doing those hours while carrying this crushing belief that your entire worth hinges on the outcome. Like the startup founder checking metrics compulsively on a Saturday night. Not because there's urgent news, but from this deep fear that if they mentally check out for even an hour, everything collapses, and they have failed personally. That internal story, if I stop, I fail, therefore I'm worthless, that's way more exhausting than the actual work.
That inner belief, that's the 100-pound weight we don't need to be carrying. And this is where the paradox of non-attachment comes in. It means freedom. It doesn't mean indifference or not caring, not at all. It means you act with total commitment. You bring everything you've got, skill, passion, energy. But your inner stability, your sense of okayness, isn't riding on whether the client signs or the project succeeds or the review is glowing. Your peace is internal, unconditional. Imagine two people, right? Both achieve the same great outcome, let's say a major career success. One lives in constant low-grade dread, always watching the numbers, needing the next win to feel okay, believing their value is totally conditional. The other operates from full commitment, yes, but also from flow, maybe even gratitude. They know their worth is inherent, regardless of the specific outcome. Which one is truly thriving? The one whose inner state is rooted in freedom. Non-attachment is like the hidden psychological infrastructure for sustainable high performance.
Wow, that really reframes ambition itself. It's not about shrinking your goals, it's about building a much stronger foundation underneath them.
Precisely. Think of a tree. Your ambitions, your goals, your vision, your drive. They're like the branches, reaching high, growing wide, seeking the light. Beautiful. But if the roots are shallow, those achievements are vulnerable. The first big storm, economic downturn, personal crisis, whatever, can knock it all over. Your spiritual practice, however you define that mindfulness, real rest, listening inwardly, that's the root system. So spirituality isn't the opposite of success. It's the deep, strong foundation for lasting, meaningful success.
That really connects with the bodhisattva idea we came across too, this figure, this kind of awakened leader. They don't retreat from the world's challenges. They dive deeper into them. They build, they serve, they engage. But their power comes from this deep well of compassion that's rooted in unwavering presence, not just frantic efforting.
So that fatigue you feel, that burnout, it's actually an invitation. It really is. It's a doorway, not a defect.
that irritability. It's a boundary trying desperately to form before something breaks. We have got to stop measuring our value purely by output. We need to start sensing our wholeness and stillness. And honestly, the most strategic skill you can develop now, it's the ability to tell the difference between a reaction which is usually automatic, fear-driven, and often costly, and a response. A chosen, wise, aligned response.
That really makes choosing rest, choosing to set that boundary, choosing presence. It makes it an act of profound wisdom, and frankly, maybe even a quiet act of rebellion in a world that seems to profit from us being constantly exhausted. So, wrapping this up, the big shift we've explored today is moving away from staring only at the destination and starting to honor the actual rhythm of life as we live it. The path to real, sustainable greatness. It seems to start with being more, not just doing more.
Yes, and maybe redefining success itself. It's not only found in those huge external wins, it's also found in the quiet internal victories, day by day, like that boundary you held firm on even though you felt guilty. That conscious breath you took before snapping back, that hour of rest you actually allowed yourself without needing an excuse. These are the real measures, maybe, of a life lived from a place of fullness, not fear. So, we want to leave you with this question to carry with you, to explore in your own ambitious life. What might your day, your week, your work look like if you treated your exhaustion not as a personal failure, but as a compass? A compass pointing you directly toward where you truly need to be.
Just sit with that for a moment.
Yeah.
Because that sensitivity, the very thing that might make you feel prone to overwhelm, that could actually be your superpower. It's the internal guidance system showing you the path towards work that isn't just successful on paper, but genuinely deeply fulfilling. This deep dive, well, it's just the start of making that shift. Building a life where success doesn't have to cost you your soul.